Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing the mid-year book freakout tag. I've also got a new little mini microphone. I don't know why I didn't buy one sooner. It was literally £11, but also I don't want to attach it to myself just yet in case I end up like ruffling my clothes or my hair or something. Knowing me, I will do that. So we're just going to hold it for now. I just need to have a bit of a practice with it. But yes, I've got multiple books for some of these questions because some of them it was just too difficult to pick one. And I'm also so excited to watch everyone else's videos of this because I just find them so fun. But anyway, let's get on in to the questions. Question number one is, what is the best book you've read so far in 2024? And if you watch my channel, I think you'll know Heartless by Elsie Silver. I read this in, was it in April or was it in May? Very recently. I adored it. My favourite romance of all time now. It is incredible. I love a cowboy romance and I feel like I'm just hyper fixated on cowboys because of this book. So thanks for that. But yeah, absolutely adored this one and I want to reread it as soon as I possibly can. Question number two is the best sequel you've read so far in 2024. And Heartless is a sequel, so technically it's that. But I wanted to give a different answer. And so I'm going to go with One Last Job by Anise Starr. I read the first and second book in this series this year, and I really enjoyed both of them. This one is a kind of like rivals to lovers situation. They're not like enemies to lovers, but they definitely get off on the wrong foot, and it's kind of close proximity because they're working together, and it's just a really good, fun romance. And the first book is really good as well. So they're ones that I highly recommend. And yeah, as I say, that is a really fun sequel that I've read. The sequels that I have read are like part of a series of standalones, so I don't know if they technically count, but I'm counting them here. The next question is a new release you haven't read yet but want to. And for this one, I am going for Funny Story by Emily Henry. I am a little bit hesitant because I didn't love Happy Place, but I have loved every single other book by Emily Henry, so I really do want to get to that soon. I also really want to read Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. Is that how you say it? I'm not sure, but that seems so fun. It's a real buzzy thriller at the minute. I keep seeing it everywhere and I really want to give it a go. And then the last book that I really want to get to is One of Us Knows by Alyssa Cole. I'm going to be reading that one very soon and I will be vlogging it, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's one that I'm really looking forward to because I really liked Alyssa Cole's first thriller that she wrote, When No One Is Watching. I thought that was really, really good. So I'm so excited to see what this one has in store. The next question is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I'm so excited for A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. That one comes out very soon, literally in like a couple of weeks' time, and I do have an arc of it, so I'm going to be starting it pretty imminently. I'm so excited to get to it. I don't know if that technically counts as the second half of the year because it's still part of June, but I'm going to include it anyway because it's beyond the point of when I'm filming this video. And then the other one that I'm looking forward to is Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. I haven't actually caught up with Riley Sager's newer releases. For the same video as I'm reading One of Us Knows, I want to read The Only One Left. Is that the title? I think it is. But I also haven't read The House Across the Lake. I need to read those, but I'm still really excited for this one. I really enjoy Riley Sager's thrillers. I think he's a really great thriller author, and I feel like he's a go-to author if you're looking for a fun time with a thriller. Next is biggest disappointments. Now, I haven't actually read too many bad books. There's a couple, but they're not necessarily disappointments. So the books that I'm going for here aren't books that I absolutely hated. They're just disappointed me, as the question suggests. The first one is Notes on an Execution by Daniel Kafka. This one was more on me than the book. The book is written very, very well, and I rated it 3 stars, so it's not a bad book. I just want my crime books to be a bit more thrilling. Because this is about a crime, I was expecting a bit more, but that's not what the book is. That's not what it is. So that's on me. But it did teach me something about my reading taste, that if a book is about crime, I basically want it to be a thriller. One that I guess I didn't like is Life Ceremony by Sayaka Murata. This one I picked up because I loved Convenience Store Woman. I thought it was incredible. So I was really excited to pick up this one, and it just didn't work for me. It's a short story collection, but I found that all of the short stories didn't feel quite finished, and I didn't really get into any of them. And it felt like by the time I was finally like into the story, it was over. So didn't love that one. But if you're a fan of like Black Mirror, anything like that, I would recommend giving it a go because it does give those vibes. The last one, another one I gave 3 stars, so not a bad book, just didn't work for me, was Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. As I said before, I'm loving cowboys at the moment. I'm loving a cowboy romance. This one just didn't hit the spot for me. It was the male main character, like the love interest, that just didn't work because it's a dual POV story. His POV didn't seem developed enough and wasn't too different from Clementine, the main character's point of view. I feel like it could have just been from her point of view and been fine. So yeah, didn't love that one. But again, like I said, it wasn't bad. The next one is The Biggest Surprise. So the first one is Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth, one of my favourite books I've read this year. It is incredible, and the reason why it's a surprise is because I read The Good Daughter by the same author and I liked it, but I didn't love it. It's not one that I particularly remember too much about. It was just an average read for me. This one, though, oh my god, I loved it so much. It's essentially about these 3 women who were fostered by the same woman, and they refer to themselves and are sisters, just not by blood. And a body is found under the house that they were in with this woman, and they have to then go back to this town that they lived in all together, and essentially it's figuring out what went on, but we're also going back to the time when they were there, what this woman put them through, and it is truly awful, but so good. I highly recommend this one. And then the other one is another book from an author that I've read before and didn't love, and this one is From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. I read The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, didn't love it, so I thought maybe her books just aren't for me. They are very long, they're very slow burn, and I didn't really think that's what I wanted. However, picking this book up, I realised it definitely is. It was so good. I loved the romance between our 2 main characters. It's essentially about this ice skating duo who are rivals and they really don't get on, and they end up having to skate together, and romance ensues very slowly, but it's so worth it. I loved this one. Next is a new favourite author, and this can be new to you or a debut author. I have gone for Anise Starr, who wrote One Last Job that I was talking about earlier, and also 1 Week in Paradise, which is the first book in that series. I wanted to go for an author that I've read multiple books from this year and enjoyed all of them, and this is the only author that fits that bill. I really enjoy her romances. I'm so excited to read the final book in the series, which is already out. I just haven't got to it yet. It's following Bailey from the first book's brother, and he just seems like a real good character, and I'm really looking forward to his romance. So yeah, Anise Starr is who I'm going to say for this one. Newest fictional crush. Would anyone like to guess? Because I feel like it's pretty obvious. Cade Eaton from Heartless is incredible. I adored that man. I thought he was amazing. He is this grumpy cowboy, single dad who absolutely adores his son and will do absolutely anything for him. He's the type of guy that would do anything for anyone, but he's really quite grumpy at the same time. And I just love that. I loved him in this. I thought he was incredible. Newest favourite character, I may as well hold this up still because Cade, Willa, and Lucas from this are, as a family, my favourite characters. I absolutely adored them together. Their dynamics were just so sweet. I really loved them. But aside from Heartless, another favourite character of mine is Elliot from Love and Other Words. I just thought he was so sweet and pure, and I just loved him. I thought he was just lovely. He's a character that I think about often. I really liked him. He's just so cute. The next one is a book that made you cry. Again, I feel like I should still hold this book up because this book is the book that's made me cry the most this year. Whew. I wasn't expecting it. I think that's what it was. It just hit me so hard. It shocked me. I sobbed. I just found it so upsetting. Certain parts in this, if you've read this, you'll know it just broke my heart, but I absolutely adored it. And then it also made me cry for the romance. That doesn't often happen. I just got emotional over how much these two love each other, and it just was so sweet, and it just, yeah, made me emotional. Another book that made me cry was Beloved by Toni Morrison. It's so heavy. The content in this is so heavy, but it's incredible. This is about a woman who was a slave. She's no longer a slave, but we do get parts of what she went through. And we know that one of her daughters died, and something happened that was just truly tragic, broke my heart. I won't say too much more because I don't want to spoil it, but it broke my heart. It wrecked me, to say the least. And then the final book that I'm going to talk about here is one that didn't make me full on cry, but I definitely choked up. Love After Love by Ingrid Posode. Towards the end, really started feeling it. It was so sad. And again, a massive shock. I didn't expect it. And I think the shock is what upset me. I was just like, hang on, how has this just happened? And again, I won't say too much more because I don't want to spoil it. This is one that I think everyone should read. I thought it was so good. I say everyone, if you love a character driven story, this is one for you. Next is a book that made you happy. I feel like I should just hold this book up constantly because it's the answer to nearly all these questions. The romance in this made me so happy. The family made me so happy. Lucas, I thought he was just so cute, made me so happy. So yeah, Heartless, absolutely. And then another one, I don't know whether happy is the right word, but the reading experience I really enjoyed, so I'm going to go with it. And it is Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. This is a book that's set in a store like IKEA, and something's going on at night while the workers aren't there. So a group of the workers decide that they're going to stay in the store, figure out what's going on, and it just goes completely and utterly wild. But the whole reading experience is such a unique reading experience. Like the formatting of this book is like a little catalogue. So I just found it fun. So that's why I'm going for this one, to say it made me happy. The content, not so much, because it's a horror book, but it made me happy nonetheless. Next is the most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. Now, I'm going to go for Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I don't really buy books for the cover. I'm not going to buy a book because I think it has a pretty cover. I don't really buy special editions of books. So I don't have anything that is like beautiful sprayed edges, beautiful, like, I don't know, special edition book. But this cover is stunning. So we're going to go for Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan for that one. Another brilliant book, a really quite sad, hard-hitting romance that I highly recommend. The final question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And for this one, I went back to my 2024 TBR, picked a few books from there. Have read a couple, pretty proud of myself. But the books that I would like to read the most from that list include On Beauty by Zadie Smith, which I think I've got in my bag somewhere. I was planning on reading it obviously when I went somewhere, and I haven't got it back out of the bag, so I need to get that. Definitely want to read that one. I would also like to read Of Women and Salt. This has been on multiple TBRs. I feel like summer is the perfect time to read this. It's like a multi-generational story, kind of set out a bit like Homegoing by Yar Jessie, which I loved. So I really would like to. I did start this a long time ago, and I think I got like 50 odd pages in. 50 pages in, exactly. So I don't know why I didn't carry on. I think I'm going to start it again though when I read it because I don't remember too much. I just know that we're following multiple generations of this same family line, and I can't wait to get back into it. Another one I would love to get to is My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. Again, another one that's been on multiple TBRs. I feel a bit intimidated by this one, but I really want to read it. I want to see what all the hype is about because people rave about this book, and I just think the subject matter is going to be something that I really enjoy. So I'm apprehensive but excited to pick this one up. The final book that I would like to get to by the end of the year is The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. I'm holding that really weirdly. There we go. I read Tananarive Due for the first time last year. I read The Between and I really enjoyed it. I think Tananarive Due's writing is exquisite, so I would like to read more. This, I think, is going to be so good. Quite sad, but also really good. It's about this young boy who I think is accused. I don't know if he actually did it. It says, yeah, following a trivial scuffle with a white boy, 12-year-old Robert Stevens Jr. is sent to the Gracetown School for Boys. But the segregated reformatory is a chamber of horrors haunted by the boys that have died there. Sounds amazing, but also quite sad. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting back into Tananarive writing because it is incredible. I got through that much quicker than I expected. But yeah, that is the mid-year book freakout tag. Answer any of these questions down below in the comments if you would like to. I'd love to hear your responses to these, especially what your favourite books are of the year so far. Yeah, let me know down below. But that is it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I would love it if you could like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!